In nome del Padre, del Figlio e Spirito Sancti. Amen. Pater nostro, che esi in cieli, santificetur nomen tuum, adveniat regnum tuum, fiat voluntas tua, sicut in cielo ed in terra. Panem nostrum quotidianum nobis hodie, et dimitte nobis debita nostra, sicut et nos dimittimus debitoribus nostris, et ne nos inducas in tentazione, sed libera nos a malo. Amen. This talking, I would like to discuss about two kind of persons. The first kind of person is the analytical person, and the second kind of person is the opposite, non-analytical person. The person that is analytical, I am talking about an extreme way to be analytical. It can lead to madness eventually, because he's trying to give an explanation to everything, and we know this. We know very well that it's not possible to give an explanation to everything. Now there is a huge word for this when someone is obsessed with logic and he tries to explain everything. And this word is Pilpul. So we can read here that Pilpul comes from the Jewish word pepper, and means sharp analysis, so very strict analysis. Especially when someone a Jewish person studying the Talmud, because the Talmud tries to explain everything. That is what is the Talmud about. That are not easy to understand. It's the Torah in the Old Testament, the first 5 books of the Old Testament. This is the Torah, and the Talmud try to explain these passages that are difficult to understand. So there are some people, they get so into it, in this analysis of the Torah, that they start to become the Talmud, and from the Talmud they try to find an explanation to everything, basically. You can see that Pilpul has entered English as well, so some people use it in English, in English language as well, and this is used to indicate extreme disputation of casuistic. Now casuistic is, if you go here, it says basically it's the term used to describe a presumably acceptable form of reasoning, or a form of reasoning that is inherently unsound and deceptive. So something that it sounds clear, it sounds clever, but then eventually it leads to deception. You see, to criticize the use of clever but unsound reasoning. This is casuistry. Therefore, people that they are too analytical. We see a lot of these intellectual people that they try to explain things that we cannot understand, and eventually leads them to madness. Some of them, they even kill themselves, or they just end up in some madhouse, psychiatric clinic. Now there is regarding this study of Pilpul here, someone that use this way to explain. So is using Pilpul to explain things. Some leading rabbinic authorities criticized this method being unreliable and a waste of time. So it's been discredited, and they noticed that a frequently heard accusation here is that those who use this method were often motivated by the prospect of impressing others. So that's exactly what they do. These intellectual people, they go and they on the TV or on talkings, and they try to impress people by their reasoning. That's they are motivated just because of their by their pride, because they want to show themselves as being more intelligent or more clever than the others. So these people, they are not interested to the truth, as it says here, but they're just interested of them being more to show off, basically, being more higher, to look like more intelligent than the others. That's why we need a balance. We need to be aware of our limits, because if we are not aware of our limits, we just sin of pride. And we know from the Bible that God detests the proud, the proud man, the man that he wants to be higher than everyone else. So it needs to be a kind of reasoning, and we need to be aware when this reasoning is needs to give away to the faith, because something that it cannot be explained, because we have our own limitation, it needs to give away to faith. For example, it's very very common example, the resurrection, or the presence of the soul. We know very well that the souls, many people tried um, to prove the existence of the soul, but they never succeed. See, this has been since the times of Plato, even before Plato. And therefore, in this case, reasoning has to give way to faith and just believe, because as we know that conscience, it can never be found by someone that is opening the body and trying to look for conscience when it's conscious. And we know very well it can never be found, can never be seen by any doctor. But we know all that conscience exists. And therefore, the same for the soul. We need to be this allegory can help us to understand that the soul exists as the conscious exists. In the other case, in the opposite case, people, they are not analytical at all. They don't try to find a kind an answer that is within the limits. These people, they eventually they are led to be lukewarm, because these people are neither cold, neither hot. They just accept everything as it comes to them without questioning anything. And as we know from the book of Revelation, that God spits out from his mouth the lukewarm, because he doesn't care about anything. He just wants to live his life as best as he can. and that's it there. Therefore, we need to be aware of have a kind of balance of faith and reason. Reason is okay, but we need to give away a faith when reason cannot explain things. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.